Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Algo. I was just spending some time just doing some late night observations. I like to be prepared for the possibilities, on a regular basis. And one of the best ways to do that, especially if you're feeling restless tonight or anything like that, is to get in your charts. And so I just have a clear chart currently. We have our 200 moving average, which is our orange line. Blue line is the 100 simple moving average, and our light blue line is the 50 moving average currently. And all I really want to do here is just take in some of the price action, see where we could potentially go. Right now, I am using ES, aka the S&P 500 futures, just because that is the most recent price action, I guess you could say, of the of the markets as of now. Today's what is today? Oh, October 5th. So we'll be heading into our Tuesday session in a little bit, but once again, I was a little restless tonight, and I'm like, well, might as well put in some work. All right. So we've been in our broadening formation since our highs, and so we're gonna take a look at that real quick. Make sure to draw that out. For me personally, I don't, a lot of people might ask as I'm drawing this out, well, why aren't you using this wick here? All right, or the wick down at the bottom. Personally, when I'm looking at formations, I go for touches more than anything. Also, there's such things as false breakouts, right? In order, like when I'm looking at this broadening formation here, all this looks like is a false breakout to the downside, right? All this looks like is a false breakout to the upside as price action is trying to explore this formation right here. Okay, so now we'll get to, we're on a daily chart currently. And I want to get some levels in here real quick. So let's do that. And there's really what's been interesting, and one of these levels of interest that I've been noticing is this level right here. So there's a very profound, I guess you could say, touch level or interaction level right about here, around the 42.23 level of ES. Right. So if we look at this, price action has interacted with this level quite a few times, both, uses support and resistance, even a little bit later on, right, uses an area of support. And so I'm very interested to see, as far as downside goes, if, the S&P 500 or futures, I guess we'll say, can move towards around this 42.24, 42.25 zone. Now to the upside, you'll notice as well this area right about here. All right, about the 43.80 zone, where you have another level of of constant interaction, whether it's using it as support or even resistance in some cases, even most recently. Right. So, we're kind of stuck in limbo in this broadening formation, right? And we have a potential to, possibly move upside toward this 43.80 zone or downside, right? Next downside target, if we get a push under these wicks right here, it's going to probably be in this 42.24 level. Now, as we'll see, this area was at one point a level of demand. Right. And even most recently, it's been a level of demand for us as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see if we can get a breakthrough of this, these levels right here. And I'm going to put a price level on that 42.59-ish area. Right. And so a downside move, we could see this area of price action get filled very quickly. And so, it's just something we want to look into, see if it's possible. So I'm going to zoom into the 4-hour chart now, and just kind of do the same thing. I want to identify levels of interest, places where, maybe I've seen reversals, things like that in the price action, because once again, these kind of things can give you clues into what could potentially happen. All right, so to our upside, we definitely see a level right here as well. Right, 43.22. So an upside move could potentially see something, garner a move into that kind of a range. That is not out of the realm of possibilities. Looks like we got another level right here. 43.48. Yep, level right here too. Cool. So got some upside potentials here. Let's see if we can get some downside potentials as well. And once again, guys, when I'm charting, really what I'm looking for is touches. Not so much making sure I capture every wick or anything like that. There we go. That's better. And then once again, all this is able to do for you is, as price action is moving, makes things a little bit more predictable, makes it easier for you to have profit targets. Now, of course, you're gonna need to do one of two things if you trade SPX. One, have this chart open so you can see the price action in relation to SPX as it's moving. Or two, just kind of try and do the math and transition these onto your SPX charts. I'm sure if you looked at your SPX charts, you'd see exactly the same thing though. But like I said, I like that the price action is currently moving in futures. So that's why we're using this chart today. Another thing that I like to pay attention to is the relationship of price action to the moving averages on different time frames. Specifically, I've been drawing really like a lot more attention to the 30-minute chart. And I'll show you why when it comes to the interactions of our price action. So for now, we're just going to look at this downward price action ever since we reached all-time highs up there. All right. And so what I want you guys to notice is look at our 50 and our 100 moving average. Okay. So first of all, when the 50 crossed over the 100 moving average right here, look at the price action that ensued, right? And then buyers are able to try and stabilize some of the price action. 50 caught up to the 100 moving average, but then look what happened when the crossover to the downside happened again. Boom, right? Another just flush of price action, right? That's led to buyers trying to get some more sustainability. But look what happened right here. Right, so we have another indication that we might get some bullish or bearish price action. If we can break outside of our 36s here, right? Break these levels right here. If we get under 42.58, I mean, the chances that we'll test 42.25 zone is pretty high. Of course, we're gonna have to just see how price action responds. We're in a 30-minute chart, and we can see in the most recent candle, we have had a bit of a pullback from the 4,300 area. But this is, if this is any indication, just based on price action alone and how it's reacted every time we've had this crossover, the chances that we could see some more downside momentum, I mean, could be pretty high. Now, of course, if price action is able to pull up, outside of this, we want to be able to know that where that possibility is as well. And for that, we're going to do the same thing and just kind of look at our moving averages. So we'll see our 200 moving average is this orange line right here. And we'll see in most recent price action, when price has tried to cross over it, it's actually been rejected multiple times. 1, 2, 3. At least 3 times it's been rejected there within the last few days. And so, that's once again, just another little indicator that says, okay, well, if we do start to push upside, by that time, this 43.22 zone is probably going to be pretty relevant. Just seeing how the moving average is going right now, right? So that would put us in about this zone right here for an upside move, right? With it using the 200 moving average as a form of resistance like it has. So we'll see what happens. We got to let the markets just, show us what they want to do. But sometimes it's important to just take in the price action, look at them, charts on different time frames, things like that. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go to like a 1 hour chart real quick, see if there's anything else that kind of stands out with our moving averages. So you'll notice, if we look at our 200 moving average now on the 1 hour chart, you'll see exactly the same thing. Once we crossed under it and have tried to push it up, every single time it's been rejecting, pretty much right where this 200 moving average is, right? It popped out on a false breakout right here, but it head and shoulders very quickly back into the Browning formation. So that the interesting thing though is if we look at our our Browning formation and our 200 moving average, they're almost the same price level, right? Or the same resistance level, I guess we'll say. Of course, the moving average is going to be a little bit more fluid and moving with price action, but we can clearly see, our orange line and our white line are pretty much lined up almost as good as it can get there. And so, but what do we notice here though, right? Our 100 moving average is right around that same zone we've been talking about, that 42.22 to about 43.30 zone. All right, that's kind of where our 100 moving average is right now. And so if price action can pick up above that, we might see some potential moves in a 43.80 area and try and break our broadening formation again to the upside. But it looks like before anything, we'll have to get above this 43.09 zone. So I'm gonna put that on there too. All right, and like I said, this is just in essence to be a little bit more prepared for the markets tomorrow, and just going into the rest of the week. Already having these levels kind of plotted in your head or on your chart specifically, are gonna, they always end up helping you out, even if it's just in subtle ways. But we're gonna be getting into the price action tomorrow and actually really seeing what this thing decides to do. But at the very least, we have a general idea of some upside price targets and some downside price targets that we might be able to utilize during the session tomorrow and into the rest of the week even. I'm going to just do another little run through real quick, see if there's anything else I see in regards to this. One of the things you want to always like take into account is that algorithms are programmed to things like trend lines and stuff like that. So anytime you can make more recent trend lines, it's always a benefit to you. So one trend line I was noticing as we were looking at this currently is right about here. Okay, so you'll see in the most recent price action from this false breakout right here, everything has kind of been rejected by this trend line that we just drew in. So, we went into on a 4-hour chart and we're just able to look at, okay, so this is probably a more, I guess we can call it almost like a retail trend line, right? We have an overlying Browning formation, but within that, most recent price action has been on a downward slope at around like this. So that does tell us that, okay, that push over 43.20 could take, and especially 43.30, could take us to test our broadening formation right here and our 50 moving average as well. So just little things you can take into consideration. We also have a trend line down here as well. Yep, something like that, right? But once again, it could tell us as these, new candlesticks start to form, well, if we break this trend line to the downside, right, we'd at least possibly be able to get to the 42.58 zone. Breaking that though, and we could easily get into these zones right here. So as we go into the day tomorrow, I am going to have this chart up beside my SPX chart, just to be able to keep track of this price action. And really all we're looking for is high probability trades, right? And so if I just take a little bit of time, if I'm a little restless at night or something like that, invest that into something like this, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna, practice my craft, at least make sure that I'm prepared for the next day. And then I'll be able to go into the next day just a little bit more confident. I'll have a little bit more a little bit having had a little bit more preparation. But it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. We've had some very volatile price action. We've been able to take advantage of every single one of these moves, both up and down. And that is a sign that you have a pretty solid, trading plan and discipline. Now, of course, the only point is to execute in that discipline. And that's something that we'll have to show and prove every day. So, appreciate you guys just tuning in with me tonight. We'll be having a lot more content coming out very, very soon. But in the meantime, just enjoy things like this, where we're going to do some charting. I'll probably do some play reviews from a lot of the crazy price action that we've had, maybe even do some on-demand trading with you guys, just so you can see some of the strategies work. But the name of the game is just self-improvement. So let's just continue to improve. And that starts with our day tomorrow. All right, you guys enjoy.